The real reason why runners get Achilles pain is that their Achilles isn't strong enough to handle the damage they take when running. So I used to get a ton of pain through the back of the Achilles when I ran, and it's no coincidence that I was also incredibly tight and weak through the exact positions we need to get into when we run. So our approach in the rebuild program starts with 3 factors, and factor 1 is directly strengthening the Achilles. I've found that generally, the more knee bend that you go into, the more you load the Achilles. So less knee bend would be less load, and more knee bend would be more load, which makes sense because when we're running, we land in a fully bent position. Then we push off of that position, which is why the Achilles gets overworked for so many people. So in rebuild, we don't just mimic that knee bend, but we build beyond it with our seated calf raise variation. This is my favorite setup, using a bench, some dumbbells on your knees, and a slant board under you so you can strengthen out of a full stretch. But if you don't have a setup like that, you can just build to single leg loaded reps with a bent knee on a wall, because in the unlock program, we're using both legs and gradually improving the knee bend that we go into. So then by the time we get to rebuild, we can remove one leg and start building single leg reps. For direct Achilles strengthening in the rebuild program, we train this once a week. We try to get 60 reps in 3 minutes. If you hit all 60 reps, next week you can increase the weight, but if you miss it, then you're gonna decrease the weight next session, which gives us an easy and measurable way to continue getting stronger without the risk of overuse. Plus, form coaching is the most important part for your progress, because if you're not using the right setup with the right form, then you simply won't progress. So whether you're continuing to build these single leg on a wall, or you're starting to build these measurably with weights on your knees, make sure to send in a video of your last set through the app so I can coach you as if you were in person with me. Now that we're putting you on a new trajectory of directly strengthening the Achilles, we want to also focus on other factors, which are all sides of the ankle. Because if you only work the back and you never work the front, then you're gonna create more imbalances than good. So factor 2 is rebalancing each side of the ankle so you don't get that in the first place. In the rebuild program, inch by inch, we're getting stronger through a full stretch in the Achilles, while also matching that on the front side through the tibialis anterior, getting stronger inch by inch at lifting your foot off the ground. I first learned these from Bob Gaida. He was a bodybuilder and he used them to balance the size of his muscle between the front and the back, because most bodybuilders only build the back, but he found improved aesthetics by building the front as well. Years later, we've now found that these are an effective tool to build your shins up so that they're protected against shin splints. And we've also found that building up this muscle also protects your Achilles. So not only are you getting bigger and stronger muscles, but you're rebalancing your ankle to prevent yourself from getting injured when you run. And the best way to prevent those issues from happening is by getting stronger in a controlled manner, so that when you run, you have more control over flexing your shin, which means your shins can take more damage and your Achilles doesn't get overworked. In the rebuild program, it's recommended to get a tibialis bar so you can see how strong you're getting with measurable load and precise form. But if you don't have that setup, then you can replace it with single leg reps on a wall, because remember, rebuild is done after the first 8 weeks in unlock, where we're building on a wall, but with both legs. So the seamless transition, if you're at home, is from getting strong both legs in the first 8 weeks, then one leg at a time in the next 8 weeks. At this point in the video, we've covered direct Achilles strengthening. Then we've matched that by also building the front of the ankle so we're not imbalanced between sides. That leads us into the third factor, which is external forces that contribute to that Achilles pain. If your hip flexors are weak, it will impact how much control you have over your leg and how hard it drops on the ground. And if they're weak, then you'll be dropping harder and you'll be on the ground longer, which has more reliance on the Achilles, which is how it gets overworked. So in the rebuild program, we spend time building up that strength by picking up weights with our feet and gaining the same strength that we need for running. And if your feet are weak, then you won't be able to control your foot on the ground, which means your Achilles will have to work extra to be able to compensate when you extend forwards. So by first building up our foot stretch in the first 8 weeks of the unlock program, we can unlock that area and get into that position better, so that by the time we get to the rebuild program, we can load behind our backs and squat down into that fully stretched foot position, getting strong at using our knees and our feet at the same time. Plus, if you aren't equally building your upper calf strength along with your Achilles strength, then you're gonna be putting off the balance tension that you need to be able to land and extend through the ankle. And along with all of that, If your knee doesn't have the stability to not cave in or out when you land, then your Achilles will always get twisted in or out, which just puts added pressure for no reason. So we spend time building that stability with our reverse step-ups, focusing on pushing the knees straight forward, just like how we need when we run. Plus, there's hope for everyone to recover because we start in the first 8 weeks of Unlock, where we're building up all of these movements with no equipment needed, so anyone can make progress from anywhere in the world. So you can go from being the runner that tiptoes around pain and injuries year-round constantly to being the runner that fully builds out of it and never has to deal with it again.